Mike Pinocchi with Network Protocol Specialist LLC. A couple of weeks ago, I had a chance to do a deep dive session at the Wireless LAN Professionals Conference in Phoenix, Arizona. This was based on the CyberScope Air, which was just announced today by NetAlly. So I'd like to take a few minutes and go through the CyberScope Air and show you why it's a unique tool and what it can do for you for not only analyzing your wireless network, discovering both your wired and wireless network, but also scanning your network for vulnerabilities. So we're going to start out by taking a look at what comes in the case with the CyberScope Air, and then we'll dig into what the CyberScope Air can do. All right, so here we have the case that the CyberScope Air comes in. Let's open this up and see what's inside. First, we have our power supply right here. So we've got a USB-C power supply. That's what we use to charge it. We've got a directional antenna. Now the directional antenna is going to be used in combination with the CyberScope Air to help us locate devices on the network. We also have the NXT1000, and this is a spectrum analyzer that connects to the USB port that we can use for doing spectrum analysis of the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands. And then last but certainly not least, we have the CyberScope Air. So let's get this box out of the way and let's take a look at what we have with the CyberScope Air. So we'll zoom in just a little bit and we'll take a look at the physical attributes of this. So in this case, we have an Android-based device. On the side, we've got an external antenna connection. This is where we would be connecting our directional antenna right here. So I can screw that on there. Let's see, we'll get that set right so we can turn that just like that. We've got a USB connection on the side. Now, when I start doing a demo of what this tool can do, I'm actually going to connect a USB Ethernet adapter to that so that we can go in and connect to it through that wired USB connection. We've got our USB-C connector there on the side. Up on top, we have a USB Type A connector as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab out my NXT1000. I'm going to screw that little antenna on there. We'll plug that into the top, and we're going to be able to use that for doing spectrum analysis. Over on the side, I've got my power button, I've got my volume controls, and we are ready to go. Now the battery in this gives us about 10 hours of battery life when we're using it out in the field for doing troubleshooting. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on, and then we're going to switch over to sharing the screen so that you can see what the CyberScope Air can do for you. All right, so let's take a look at what features make the CyberScope Air unique. So just like with the AirCheck G3 from NetAlly, we are able to connect to the network, discover the network, take a look at the Wi-Fi, do a wireless heat map, do things like path analysis, spectrum analysis, packet capture, ping TCP, iPerf. The thing that differentiates the CyberScope Air is the addition of Nmap. So in order to start running our Nmap tests, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my CyberScope Air to my wireless network. So in this case, I'm connecting to the 6 gigahertz channel 69E right here. We've gotten a DHCP address. We've connected to DNS. We're getting to our router. So I'm going to come back out here to my home screen, and I'm going to go to Discovery. Now, as soon as we connect to the network, it is going to go out and start discovering our network. So here we've got our network 10.0.18. Now, if I want to see just the devices on that network, I can come in, I can apply a filter to that subnet, I can come back, and now I'm seeing just the devices on that network. That is excellent. Now, I want to start building and running some Nmap tests to see if I have any vulnerabilities out there. So I'm going to click on Nmap, and we are going to come in and we see that I've built a number of Nmap tests in addition to the default ones that come with the test tool. So in this case, I want to see if anonymous FTP is open on a device. So in this case, I am running an Nmap script called FTP anon, and this will go out and check to see if anonymous FTP is allowed. Now here, I can set my grading. So what I'm looking for is the text anonymous FTP login allowed? If it is, this will be flagged as a warning. Now before I implement this Nmap test, what I want to do is test it. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on test, and I'm going to point this at my Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to hit start. And it will run this test against that. And we come down here and we see that it says FTP anon, anonymous FTP login allowed. And you notice that text is red and it says response contains excluded text. So this lets me know that not only is anonymous FTP allowed, but I was able to grade that and grade that as an error, and it turned red right there. So that's going to do what I want it to do. So we're going to come back. Now, we could run this individually against hosts, which is fine. But the real power here comes in that I can go into Discovery. I can go into my Discovery settings, and I can turn on Nmap as part of my Discovery. So I can say I want to run these Nmap tests against each device. So I will tap on that. Now I've already selected 6 tests that I want to run. I want to see, is FTP Anonymous available? Are there any open HTTP servers on there? Are there any open SMB shares? Are they using the default SNMP community string? Is Telnet open? And if SSH is running, is it vulnerable to the Terrapin hack? So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And I'm going to come back. And I'm going to rerun my Discovery. So we will come back to our Discovery screen right here. Keep working our way back. And I'm going to come up here. I'm going to tap on Refresh Discovery. And I'm going to clear and rerun my Discovery. Now, up here on my progress bar, it's showing me what percent of Discovery is complete. Again, I'm going to apply a filter. I'm going to say, show me just the devices on my little test subnet right here. We'll go back. So we see that so far that Raspberry Pi has 1 error and 1 warning. Now we're only 70% done with our scanning. So, our errors just went up to 2. So let's go ahead and tap on that and see what we've got so far. So as I scroll down here, we can see that it's running each one of these scripts against that device. So the fact that that is red tells me that FTP Anonymous is open on this device. Our HTTP enumeration came back okay. We do have an open SMB share. Our SNMP community strings are set to default. Telnet is not running on here, and this is vulnerable to the Terrapin SSH hack. So by going in and creating these Nmap tests, I can set it up so that I can run these against each of the devices that are discovered on my network. So this becomes a very quick and easy way to not only discover the devices on our network, but also to identify if those devices are vulnerable. So the NetAlly CyberScope Air, not only can we go in and use this to analyze our wireless network, but we can use it to assess whether we have any vulnerabilities by creating Nmap tests and applying those against the discovered devices on our network. So I hope you enjoyed this overview video. If you like it, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and check out the other videos we have on network analysis and troubleshooting.